Welcome to the NPTE Final Frontier podcast, helping one student at a time. Visit NPTEFF.com to enroll today so you can pass tomorrow. Thank you for joining us here on the NPTE Final Frontier podcast. My name is Dr. David Friedberg.
And my name is Dr. Emily Gerby. This episode is part 1 of our research series. On this episode, we will be looking at study designs.
All right. Well, let's do a question to kick us off. A researcher is investigating whether long-term participation in high-impact sports increases the risk of developing knee osteoarthritis. 2 groups are selected: individuals with a history of competitive soccer participation and individuals with no history of impact sports. Both groups are followed over a 10-year period to track the development of osteoarthritis. One more time, both groups are followed over a 10-year period to track the development of osteoarthritis. Which study design is most appropriate for this research? Is it option A, case control study? Option B, cross-sectional study? Option C, cohort study? Or option D, randomized controlled trial?
All right, perfect. So let's review each of those option choices. But let's go back, right? Let's look at those main components of this question stem. Well, we want to be able to identify which study design is most appropriate for this research. Again, this research was investigating the long-term participation in high-impact sports and increasing the risk of development of knee osteoarthritis. The study was broken down into 2 groups. One group was individuals with a history in competitive soccer participation, while the other group had no history of impact sports. All right, so first up was option A, our case control study. Well, case control studies start with individuals who already have the disease and then look backwards to identify prior exposure or risk factors. Now, this question did not start with the disease, it started with exposure. So that's why option A would be incorrect. Next up, we had option B, our cross-sectional study. Well, this type of study collects data at a single point in time and provides kind of a snapshot of a population. Now, this study included long-term follow-up, so it cannot be a cross-sectional study. So we can cross off option B. Next up, option C, our cohort study. This type of study, participants are based on a shared characteristic, such as exposure, and then followed over time to observe outcomes. This question clearly described following 2 various groups over a 10-year period. So option C looks like a pretty great option choice, but let's look at option D, our randomized control trial. Well, randomized control trials are randomized into a treatment and a control group. In this scenario, participants are grouped based on their prior exposure. They were not randomly assigned groups, which confirms that option C, our cohort study, would be the best option choice to identify this type of research that was performed. Great job.
So now this question is actually testing your ability to identify study design based on how the study is structured over time. So just to review, the cohort, that equals the group by exposure. And that's going to lead to also the followed over time. Case control, that's going to be your group by disease. And that is when you look backwards. And then also the cross-sectional, that's just going to be one time point only. So that's a great way to look at it. And then if we're going to add to that, the RCT, the randomized controlled trial, that's going to require randomization. I mean, come on now. It's the first word of it.
Now, the exam really does emphasize how studies are built. not just the definitions. So when it comes to research, yes, it's great to have a foundational knowledge of what all of these studies are, but we really need to have a better understanding of how these studies are applied. Now, things to focus on. Start with where the study starts, right? Did it start with exposure or did we already have the disease? Also, things to look at whether time or follow up was involved for the study and whether randomization was present. Those are a few great ways to start breaking down some of these study designs to help you get a better understanding.
All right. Now that you heard this episode, here is a quote from the second best NBA basketball player, LeBron James, because we know that number one is Michael Jordan. Here is a quote from LeBron James. You have to fight through some bad times. You have to fight through some bad days to earn the best days of your life. And that, once again, is LeBron James, second best to Michael Jordan. You can at me on that. But yes, you got to keep on fighting through those tough days, those bad days. Everybody has them. No matter who you are, no matter who is listening, you're all going to have a bad day. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Bad days do happen. It's normal, but you got to fight through them. You got to stand back up and keep going forward. Reach out for any help if you need it, but keep on going forward because the best days are ahead of you and you're earning it. You are powerful. You are strong. You are a final frontier warrior. You will pass.
Thank you very much for listening. For more information on NPTE Final Frontier, please go visit npteff.com. You can also go check out all of our social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Till next time, have a great day and a powerful tomorrow.